Austin, how are you?
Doing good. Doing good.
You're in Vegas, man. What are you doing out here?
We came here for the UFC event, UFC 300, and I just kind of been training while I was out here yesterday and PFL yesterday, and now here for the UFC today.
Yeah, I saw you got some work in at Action Couture. How was that?
It was real good. You know, there are some high-level guys. Patchy Mix, I got some real good work with him, and that was good.
Awesome, man. Well, it's been a few months since your fight. Now that you've had some time to reflect on it, how do you feel about it?
You know, that was a very big test for me, and it kind of showed me where I was at. You know, very tough guy. He was 14-3. He was actually scheduled to fight in the UFC against Cody Stamen at one point, and that fell through. But that was a big fight, and showed me where I was at.
Absolutely. And before we talk about what's obviously you've been known for wanting to get as much experience as you can. Now that you've got a lot of experience, you fought so many good guys on the regional scene. How important was that? Because there's all the plus you are super young, but you see it. There's all these fighters that just want to go 3-0 on the regional scene, 4-0 on the regional scene, and then go straight to the UFC. Why was it important for you to get that experience?
Yeah, so I think experience to me is kind of the biggest thing. I feel like people rush into the UFC, and that's when they kind of just get cut after a few fights because they start fighting those high-level guys and they start losing and not really getting good fights in with them. So for me, it was important to get good fights in the regional scene, get good tough guys, so when I go to the UFC, it's nothing new, it's the same tough guys I'm fighting, so that was really important for me. But now after all those tough fights I had, I feel like I'm ready for the show now.
Was that your idea to stay around, or was that a coach's? Was that your parent? Whose idea was it for you to get all those fights on the regional scene?
Yeah, for sure. It was me, my coaches, and brother. We're a very, very tight team, and we're kind of all work together. Whatever they say, I listen to them, and that's kind of how my path's been going so far.
So what's next, man? What's perfect world? What do you want next? Are you looking to get on the Contender Series this summer? Do you want to go straight to the UFC? What's your kind of mind frame?
Ideally, it's straight to the UFC, get a contract, and start my career there. And but if I can't get that, then yeah, Contender Series. And I'm super young right now. I'm only 22, so if I don't get a UFC contract, Contender Series for sure.
Has the UFC reached out? Has any of the matchmakers kind of reached out to you at all?
Yeah, we've got some good. We got some offers and stuff. It just didn't fall in the right place at the right time, and I'm making sure that's all ready to go.
How did that make you feel? The UFC, you're on the UFC radar, obviously, and they know who you are. They know the work you've put in. Does that make you feel good?
For sure. All my hard work for the last 14 years is finally paying off, and this is all I've wanted since I was a kid, to make it to the UFC and be a UFC champion, and I feel like it's all starting to happen right now, so it's nice to see.
Obviously, you did most of your career so far is at Bantamweight. Are you looking to stay at Bantamweight, or are you looking to go up to featherweight?
So that's, yeah. So obviously I've been getting bigger as I'm getting older, and I'm still kind of growing. So that's a decision I'll have to make with the team, but not sure yet. But I definitely have put on size, put on mass. I feel like I've gotten way stronger, faster. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, obviously you're only 22 years old, and you're only going to get bigger, only going to get stronger. So is it probably going to be featherweight if you were to put a little prediction?
If I have to guess, so yeah.
Yeah. I wanted your thoughts on the bantamweight division in the UFC and the featherweight division. What do you think of the champions right now? Obviously Sean O'Malley's doing his thing. Ili Topuria just knocked out Volkanovski.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on those guys?
Super high level guys. I've kind of watched them since they started out their careers, and now they're champions and kind of running through everyone right now. So it's nice to see that those high level guys are doing their thing at that level, at the highest level.
And just lastly, how important to you would it be to go to the UFC? What's that? Obviously this is your career. It's what you've been doing for so long, and you're so close. So getting that call to the UFC, what's that? Do you still get the butterflies? I'm close.
For sure. When I first started my pro debut, that was in November of 2020, and now we're here in 2024. I'm just inches away from it, and yeah, I really for sure get those butterflies just thinking about it.
Awesome, bro. Well, if you want to plug anything, you want to plug your social media, any sponsors that you got, you want to thank anybody?
Yeah, of course.
Man.
Gotta thank everyone who supports me throughout the journey, my family, friends. Obviously, God first. I'm a big believer in Him, and feel like all my success is coming from Him. And to all my sponsors, I have a bunch of sponsors that really support me, and I have a lot, so I don't want to miss a name on accident. But yeah, all of them, and social media, just at Austin Bashi on Instagram.